If you're over 60 and you love to travel, I'm going to say something nobody says out loud. Flying can quietly wreck your body. Not because you're weak, but because the entire airport and airplane system is designed like you're 25. Long walks, loud terminals, confusing gates, cold cabins, dry air that hits you like a desert. And most seniors do what they've always done. They stay polite, they stay quiet, they don't want to be a burden. But that habit, it's exactly why so many older travelers end up exhausted, dehydrated, in pain, or in avoidable medical trouble. Today, I'm giving you 15 critical flight tips airports, booking sites, and even some crew members don't clearly explain. Tips that can make your next trip more comfortable, safer, and a whole lot more dignified. Welcome back. My name's Ricardo. I've been a flight attendant for 15 years, and in that time, I didn't just serve drinks. I've seen everything: travel stress, airline unspoken rules, what actually helps passengers, and what quietly makes flights harder than they need to be. And if there's one group of travelers that is consistently respectful, kind, and easy to help, it's seniors. But here's the painful part. Seniors are also the group most likely to miss out on the help they're entitled to, simply because no one told them. Today you'll learn how to avoid dehydration, headaches, dizziness, and swollen feet, how to reduce the risk of blood clots, how to get free assistance that feels like VIP shortcuts, how to board and deplane with less stress, and how to travel with confidence without feeling like you're asking for special treatment. Because this is the stoic mindset for travel. You can't control the whole system, delays, turbulence, crowded terminals, but you can control how you prepare and how you protect your body. Let's start. If you're over 60, your body reacts differently to flying, not because you're fragile, but because altitude and cabin air change the rules. The biggest mistake people make is thinking prep is about packing a suitcase. No, your real carry-on is your body, and you want it to arrive in good condition. Here's a fact most passengers don't feel until it's too late. Cabin air is extremely dry. On the ground, you might be used to moderate humidity. In the air, the cabin can feel like a desert, and as you get older, you can dehydrate faster. That dehydration can lead to headaches, dry throat, neck stiffness, dizziness, fatigue, and most importantly, thicker, slower-moving blood, which contributes to clot risk. So what do you do? 3 simple rules. Rule 1. Don't wait for drink service. Water is not a scheduled buffet. If you need water, ask for it. Rule 2. Bring an empty, reusable bottle through security. Once you're on board, or after you reach cruising altitude, tell a flight attendant, "Hi, would you mind filling this with water?" Most crew members prefer filling one bottle versus handing you tiny cups over and over. Rule 3. Drink on a rhythm, every 60 to 90 minutes. Even if you don't feel thirsty, because thirst is often a late signal. If you feel thirsty, you may be already behind. This is not about being demanding. This is about protecting your body. A lot of seniors think compression socks are only for people with varicose veins. Not true. Cabin pressure changes how blood pools in your legs, and even healthy younger crew members wear compression socks constantly because they work. Compression socks help prevent blood pooling in the lower legs, reduce swelling, support circulation, and lower risk of clots. Most important rule: put them on before you leave the house, and don't take them off until you're at your destination. It's not fashion, it's prevention. Stoic mindset: if a small action prevents a big problem, you do it. This one scares me because I've seen it happen too many times. A senior checks their luggage and their medications are inside. Then the bag is delayed, lost, or ends up somewhere else. Now you're traveling without what you need. So here's the golden rule. Essential medication never goes in checked luggage, ever. It goes in your carry-on, where you control it. That includes daily maintenance meds, inhalers, heart medication, diabetes supplies, anything you need in the next 24 to 48 hours. Bonus, put a small medication list in your wallet. Medication names, dosages, schedule, doctor info, optional. If there's stress, confusion, or a medical incident, that list speaks for you. Stoic mindset, preparation is self-respect. A lot of seniors quietly suffer because they don't want to bother the person next to them, so they accept a window seat. And then they sit there thinking, I'll just hold it, I don't want to be rude. But here's the truth, it's actually harder for the crew when you're trapped and uncomfortable. If you know you'll need to get up, whether for circulation, stretching, or the restroom, an aisle seat is not a luxury, it's a health choice. If you couldn't book it online, do this. Before boarding, go to the gate agent and say, "Hi, I need to get up frequently for circulation. Do you have an aisle seat available?" If there's availability, they often can help, sometimes at no cost. You're not required to suffer quietly. Dignity is not a bonus feature, it's a right. Once you reach cruising altitude and the seatbelt sign is off, most people do one of two things. They sleep for 2 hours straight, or they watch a movie without moving. But if you're over 60, long immobility is not your friend. Cabin pressure can make joints stiff, circulation slower, and clot risk higher. So do this simple routine every hour. 10 heel raises, 10 ankle circles clockwise, 10 ankle circles counterclockwise. That activates your calf muscle, the body's natural blood pump. If you feel steady, take a short walk to the galley, and if you want to stretch safely, tell the crew, "Hi, would it be okay if I hold here while I stretch a little?" Trust me, crew would rather see you moving safely than suddenly feeling faint. Stoic mindset, health is a choice you repeat, small actions every hour. Let's be honest, the airport is often the most exhausting part. It's loud, confusing, long distances, and everyone is rushing. But the system actually includes services designed to make it more fair for people who can't or shouldn't do the marathon walk. And here's what nobody tells seniors. Some of the best airport help is free. You just have to request it. Many seniors avoid wheelchair assistance because they think it's only for someone seriously ill, or they worry people will judge them. But you don't have to be disabled enough to deserve help. If long walks are hard, if you fatigue easily, if big terminals overwhelm you, wheelchair assistance can be appropriate. What it can look like? Curb to check-in, through the airport, sometimes a dedicated lane at security, to your gate. And another benefit most people don't realize. If you use assistance, you often arrive early and get priority boarding, which means less crowding, less stress, easier overhead bin space, and more time to settle in. This is not a favor, it's a service built into the system. Stoic mindset, using support wisely is strength, not weakness. If you're in the US and security screening stresses you out, especially with medications, medical devices, or mobility concerns, TSA has a program called TSA Cares. The idea is that you can request assistance for a smoother screening process. Important, policies and contact methods can change, so always check the official TSA website for the most current instructions. But the big concept is this. You can ask for someone trained to guide you through the most stressful part of the airport, security, so you're not rushed, confused, or embarrassed. Stoic mindset, ask for help when you need it. That's wisdom. This is one of the most important tips. If you're over 60 and have any mobility concern, even mild, you can often request pre-boarding. You don't need to give a dramatic explanation. You can simply say, "Hi, I'd like to request pre-boarding. I have mobility concerns." Pre-boarding helps because you're not standing in the crowded aisle. You're not getting bumped. You can sit down calmly. You can stow items safely. And you reduce the chance of shoulder or back injuries from rushing. You've earned the right to move through the process with dignity. Connecting flights can be brutal. Big airports can feel like shopping malls with runways. If your first flight is delayed, you're suddenly speed walking or panic walking across terminals. If you arrange assistance, you may be eligible for gate-to-gate transfer. Someone meets you at the first gate, escorts you to the next gate, and helps you navigate faster routes when available. The biggest benefit? Less panic and fewer missed connections. So many seniors miss flights because they didn't know this assistance existed. Stoic mindset: plan the route, not the suffering. If you travel with a cane, walker, crutches, or other mobility aids, here's what many people don't realize. Assistive devices are typically handled differently than regular baggage, often not counted against your carry-on limits.